Addison, what's poppin'? How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am so good. I'm super excited to be chatting with you because I feel like it is so good to be Addison Rae right now.
Well, thank you. I am very excited to be me.
Do you ever feel that way? Like, wow, I cannot believe that this has happened, that I've made it this far. Do you ever think like that?
Oh, no, I think like that every single day. I think I say that to myself a million times.
Really?
Yeah, I for sure do. I mean, I'm so blessed. So everything that I've been doing is just really exciting and all a dream come true.
Do you feel like that you set out to do something like this, or was it something that just like fell into your lap just with the content creating?
I feel like it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
If that can be a right answer. I definitely knew my entire life that I would be in some form of entertainment. And I think I've always had, this inner artist in me that I just wasn't sure how to express. But here I am, and I'm really excited about it.
I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited about the song. I was listening to it earlier. It's called Obsessed, and it's so good. Let me describe it to you how I feel. I feel like the vibe is driving up PCH with the windows down on a sunny day, and it's just like really good.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I love. I love driving music. Driving music has like always been my thing. So I'm like, anything you can drive to is a good vibe.
Tell us about Obsessed, like the whole premise behind the song.
So Obsessed is a song that is kind of like, it started out, just kind of from a little story that I had told in the studio. And we ended up writing Obsessed. And as it went along and kind of got towards the end, of the writing process, we were like, this song is really something that everyone should feel, or at least work towards feeling about themselves. I think my favorite line in it is, if I lost you, I'd still have me, I can't lose. And that's kind of like, it's kind of a thing to say, like, no matter what in life, with relationships, friendships, people in general, if you lose those people, if you still love yourself and still have you and know yourself, then you can't lose. And I think that's a big message to everyone nowadays, especially with, social media is a really intense subject sometimes, especially now. Mm-hmm. And I think just being able to remind yourself that you're you for a reason, and the best way to live your life is to love you.
The line that stuck out to me, and I was like, okay, she went off in this song right here. It is, you say you're obsessed with me, so I took a second and said me too. And I was like, you know what's funny? I had to actually think about that, because I was like, it's almost like you have to be obsessed with yourself before you're obsessed with anyone else, if that makes sense. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, I think there's situations where it can go the other way and you love someone before you love yourself. But I think those always end in kind of weird situations, because, if you can't love yourself, then you don't know how you want to be loved.
Look at you out here trying to do a self-help book and whatnot.
Yep. Addison Rae, self-help. I try.
You know what's interesting? Like, when you are in content creating and things like that, are you someone that reads all the comments?
I'm working on it. And I think that a lot of people that I know, especially in this industry, work on it very frequently. I think you get to a certain point where you have to differentiate like what really matters. And I think the hate comments that are, just people that aren't going to like you no matter what you do, are ones you just have to ignore. And that's kind of what I've been working on. And like I said, I have to love myself first. So if you love yourself, you don't really worry about what other people have to say about you that's negative.
Absolutely. But I'm sure like I'll get like a comment like, oh, that pink sweatshirt looks hideous on you. And it will like totally like bring my whole day down. Are you same way?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I've tried to limit myself to, especially when I get in that groove of like looking, and then you kind of almost only look for the bad comments. And like, that's when they really stand out to you. But yeah, I mean, it does affect me. I think it affects anyone, and anyone who says it doesn't, has either really, really taught themselves how to not care about it, or just hasn't experienced it really. But yeah, I mean, it does affect me, and I think it's a learning progress. I'm not perfect at it, at ignoring them and, choosing to not believe them, but I'm working on it, and I think that's the best I can do, and so can everyone else.
You mentioned earlier about like just the difficulties of social media and things like that. Could you imagine being like in high school or in middle school right now and just like going through everything that happens online
Yeah, no, it's wild. I graduated high school in 2019. So I'm really not that far off from high school, but I will say that social media has changed drastically during that time. I mean, I remember when I was in middle school, Instagram had first came out and I was like posting, whatever, my food and stuff like that. And now the world's just a lot more critical. So you have to kind of make sure that doesn't get to you as much as maybe it would have, because it didn't really happen so much back then. Right. But yeah, it's a sad time whenever people have to, try to ignore hate comments that are there, because it's like, why are they even there?
Right. And it's almost like people have their notifications set on you to post something just so they can write something mean, which is crazy to me.
No, it's so crazy. I mean, I still process that. I'm like, what? How can someone I don't know. I guess I just try not to have that negativity in my heart or mind. So I feel like I could never have the energy to do that. But maybe it's just because I put so much energy into the things I love, like my music. I've just put so much energy and time into that I don't even give myself a second to try to be negative. And I think especially when it comes to me growing up, especially in the past 2 years with being on social media, I've just realized that, you have to put yourself first and really just do what's best for you. And if that's not best for you, mental health is a huge issue, especially now. And I think reading those comments or letting that get to you is just a really, really bad situation to be in. So I've tried my best to stay out of that. And I hope that I can encourage everyone that deals with that to ignore it too.
With the following that you have right now, how do you protect your peace? Because I'm sure it's coming at you at all different ways.
That's a good question. I protect my peace. I would say just spending time with, people that I love and trust. I think that's a huge thing for me, is just really being able to confide in people that care about me and love me and, reassure me. I think, but at the end of the day, I still, I do a lot of things to help with it. I feel like I started therapy. So that's one thing that's kind of helps me keep that peace and just understanding of everything. And then just, spending time offline too is always good every once in a while, which is pretty hard because I like to be really active. But I try to just give myself a mental break every once in a while. But I think I've got a pretty strong wall up now, and I think I can be okay.
I love that. All right. So I want to know, do you feel like, since, you have all these followers right now, do you feel like it is a certain type of pressure to constantly put out content? And when you do, is there anxiety when you do it?
Is there a pressure to put out content? Sometimes. I will say sometimes there is. I feel like sometimes I feel like I don't want to let my fans or supporters down whenever, I'm having an off day and that I maybe not be able to post too much, or maybe I'm working on a project that's just taking a lot of my time. So is there a pressure? Sometimes, but I try not to let it get to me, because I know my supporters are going to be there for me no matter what. And, I've had my times where I've taken a few breaks and then I've come back and everyone's been really welcoming and still have their arms open for me. So it's been really amazing that I have such an amazing fan base and support system that's still there. And then do I have anxiety about it sometimes? Yes. I really, anxiety is sometimes a subject that people are scared to talk about, but I think so many people deal with it. And I don't know, maybe it's just the way the world's going right now. There's a lot of things to be anxious about. And I think, social media being one of them, there's a lot of pressure that goes on in the world of social media. So I definitely deal with anxiety, but that's another thing that, even therapy or just self-care has helped with for me, just really focusing on me and my peace, like you were saying.
It's really interesting because, hopefully we're on the tail end of the pandemic, right? So What have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Recording. I've been recording. I've been writing. I've been learning the ins and outs of, being an artist, being a songwriter. I've been working nonstop, and hopefully that has a good payoff, and hopefully people can see how hard I've been working to put this out.
I love that. So, March is Women's History Month. You are a boss out there killing it. And I want to know, you've accomplished so much. How does that make you feel to young girls that are looking up to you right now?
It's such an amazing position to be in. And I think I definitely can handle it. So I'm here to, give the best advice I can to all these young girls that have dreams. I'm a girl from Louisiana. I grew up in Lafayette, and that's a really small town. And I think I just want to show every girl, every guy, everyone, that anything's possible if you really put your mind to it and work for it. And I think work ethic is, what takes the cake. So I think if you have a dream, go for it, and don't let people distract you on the way there. And I promise you are more than perfect and more than enough for the people that are supposed to be in your life.
That's really interesting, because my next question was going to be like, what would you say to like that fan that is just like out there, they want to do what you do, and you just like hit the nail on the head? Don't give up.
I would say all of that. Don't give up. I mean, there are so many people that are going to try to tear you down, but that's when you know you have the most potential.
Right, because people do not tear down things that they do not see as a threat.
Yes, exactly. Preach. That is it.
High five. That's going in your self-help book too.
Yep, I'm writing it down. That was great.
So let us know, what are you working on next besides, the new music?
So I have lots of new music, lots of things coming up in that area. And then I just finished a film that I was a lead role in. So I finished that in October, and that'll be hopefully coming out this year. And I have a lot of really exciting pieces coming out, just different kind of things. But I don't want to give away too much because I still want it to be a surprise.
I love that you're so excited about that. Like, you're just so excited. What's to come. Exactly. Well, listen, I appreciate you jumping on. I'm so glad that we got to talk about the song. I'm really happy that we got to talk about mental health, because I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily speak about it. Yeah. And it's really important to speak about it and to let people know that they're not going through things alone.
I agree 100%. Thank you so much for speaking to me. You're so amazing, and I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you.